Hello everybody! We all love mail, but we all hate spam. But how do we, as a company, brand our spam overview when using Proxmox Mail Gateway? This is Stef from Samayas, and welcome to my channel. Well, out of the box, Proxmox Mail Gateway handles spam and sends a daily or weekly mail to all users who received mail catalogued as spam. That mail gives an overview of all spam mail, and you can have it delivered, whitelisted, blacklisted, or simply deleted. Now that mail is not really branded. And of course, we would prefer to take it over with our company branding. So, let's dig in. So, as a normal user, where Proxmox Mail Gateway is somewhere in front of our incoming mail, or as an administrator, we all know this mail, right? Whenever a mail is catalogued as spam, somewhere in the morning we receive a daily report of all the mails which have been filtered, and we have a choice. We can go and look into details, we can look at the whitelist, the blacklist, the deliver, and a delete. But, well, it still says it's Proxmox, but it isn't really pretty, right? Or at least it isn't company branded. So, with a little bit of branding, I was able to regenerate the same mail, but with my company heading and with my company footer. And of course here, the sky is the limit. You can go as far or as little as you want. You can remove part of the message, you might even remove the option whitelist, blacklist, etc. I removed Proxmox entirely, and it is still working. Well, the first step, I went to my Proxmox Mail Gateway server, and on the configuration, I went to Spam Detector, and there to Quarantine. And here, simply, I changed it from no report or short or verbose to custom. Quite easy, right? Now, this just changes the type which you use. It doesn't change the file in itself, right? And so next, I started WinSCP, and I connected to my Proxmox Mail Gateway. And I chose the file protocol SCP, I log on, and now I can start playing around on the file system. But as always, treat this with care. If you make a mistake somewhere, potentially you might crash your Proxmox Mail Gateway. So here, we need to go to the var directory, and then to the lib, and then we need to go in the pmg directory, and finally here, we have templates. And here are all the templates which are being used for mail, but not just. And the first thing I've done, I copied the spamreport-verbose.tt file to spamreport-custom.tt. And then I started playing around with it. And so if you first open up the verbose file without any modifications, well, it's plain HTML. We have a head element, we have a body, a div, we have a table which has a for each loop and writes down whatever we want, and at the end we simply have some p tags, and that's about it. Seems quite easy, right? The only thing I really changed, well, I added some extra headings. And so, if we now look at the custom mail, well, I've added some styles to tweak around with it. The first extra thing which I've done at the beginning and at the end of my mail is to add MSO specific tags. Because if you want to open this in Outlook, contrary to a normal browser or on your mobile phone, well, it just treats HTML slightly different. And you don't necessarily get all the right results without that. And so then, I created a new table, I added my header. In my header, I wanted to show the logo of my company. And looking at it in a browser or my mobile phone by simply using a link was working without a problem. However, again, Outlook was creating an issue with that. And in the end, I opted to include a base64 image in my HTML rather than a link. And then it was working. Then I regrouped the initial table which was there inside of the RTD elements. And finally, I did the same thing with a footer, and I added what I want. Seems quite easy, right? Now, in general, you have that mail only once a day. So it is quite troublesome to debug that, right? Well, not really. In order to re-trigger that mail every time, well, there's a command for that. Simply pmg-qm send -- receive and the email address on which the spam arrives. And every time you trigger that, you receive a new mail with a new customization for the template you just modified. And so you have a very easy way to test this. Now, the spam report is a customer-facing mail, and the spamreport-custom.tt file is the only file on the PMG server which you can easily tweak, which won't be overwritten whenever you update PMG. There are a number of other files which we can tweak and which I tweaked. However, whenever you tweak those files, on next update, those might be overwritten. And then finally, one last important consideration. In general, you need at least 2 PMG servers. Now, whether or not they're clustered doesn't really matter, but each of the 2 PMG servers need to receive that new custom.tt file. Otherwise, it won't work. The second email, which I customized, is the quarantine link. And here you have 2 templates. You have quarantine link plain, when the mail is simply sent as text, and you have a second version. And here again, I tweaked it. I added a style, I added my header. My quarantine link compared to the other ones is pretty basic, and then again I added a footer. Now, for my spam report, I could easily tweak that and have a custom version. For the quarantine link, however, you change it once, but on every update potentially that might be overwritten, and you might have to recopy that file again from another location, or even the same location with a custom file and then simply with a script. But that's more troublesome. Now, for the quarantine link to work, you need to do potentially 2 modifications. Out of the box, under Configuration Spam Detector Quarantine, we have the authentication mode. And here we have a choice between ticket, LDAP, or LDAP and ticket. And in this scenario, you need to configure it to allow LDAP or ticket. And only then will the quarantine link work. Also, for this to work, I needed to open etc pmg.conf. I needed to go to the section spam core, and I needed to add quarantine link 1 and make sure that the authentication mode is in LDAP ticket. Now, of course, every PMG setup is different. In my scenario, and I think in a lot of scenarios, the only people who actually need to connect to the PMG server are the administrators. And you might simply work under root, or you might have created a more complex scenarios where you're in a team where a multitude of users can connect. And you might potentially even have integrated it with Active Directory so that the specific administrators can simply log in with their accounts. However, normal users who receive mail should not be able to log in, and so in general, those accounts are not even there. So why do we then need quarantine links? Well, as we all know, when a mail is quarantined, we only receive it the next day. And so especially if we're waiting for an important mail, well, the users still might know where they need to go to view that mail. And here on the login screen, well, after having made those modifications, we now have a button Request Quarantine Link. Because a user can't simply type in his username and password to retrieve a temporary quarantined mail which they absolutely need to access. And for that, if you type Request Quarantine Link, well, and then the only thing the user needs to do here, they need to enter their email address and they'll receive a mail immediately where they can access potentially quarantined mails. However, contrary to the previous mails, this one is only sent once per hour. And so, if you lose it, you lose it. Also, when you start to customize this mail, you can only try it once every hour. And so here, when I request a quarantine link, a link is sent. And now again, after customization, well, I have my header, I have my footer, and I have a link which I can press to go to my spam. Quite easy, right? If now, in the same hour, I try it again, I again click on the quarantine link, and I request it again for the same email address, I get an error, too many requests for that email address, only 1 request per hour. And so of course again here, it is a matter of giving the users the comfort that it's a really legit email coming from your company and not hacked by an external. But then again, if an external party knows how you're branding your emails, they might just as well tweak and fake those as well. And then of course, As an administrator, we all know the Proxmox status report, right? Pretty slick, pretty basic. But what if we can make it like this? Well, it's more branded, it's more cleaner, right? And for that, again, under var lib pmg templates, we have the pmg report. And here again, I did the same trick. I added some style, I added an extra div, I added my Outlook specific roles, I created a table with a heading, I left all the basics just the way it was, and I added a footer, and finally my MSO closure. Pretty easy, right? But here again, if we're playing around with it, we need a way for it to regenerate that mail every time. And for that again, we have a nice little command. We simply call pmg report. And every time we call it, well, it regenerates. But again, here we only have the pmg report.tt. We have no real officially supported customization, and so on each upgrade that file might be erased. And so you might need to have a script to recopy it whenever it's gone, after each update. Will each update every time re-change those files? I don't know, I guess not, but then again, it's for you to manage. And of course, that report needs again to be located on all your servers in your cluster or not in your cluster. And then finally, there's one final thing which you can play around with for branding. Well, first you have the email from. If you look at this, for instance, I haven't tweaked anything, and the from email address is simply postmaster@mxbackup1.samayas.eu, which is my first mail server. But if I have a second, depending on where the mails come in and where do I land, the other mail might be from mxbackup2 or whatever name your server you give. And here, instead of letting him decide, we could simply, for each server or on a cluster, configure one common email address. And I could, for instance, simply set mxbackup.samayas.eu. And if I now look at my from, well, I have the email address which I specified. Even though, for my status report, I still see which server sent me the email. And a second thing, which is more tricky, but is specifically for your quarantines. Out of the box again, depending on the number of servers and who sent you the quarantine report, you'll have mxbackup1, mxbackup2, etc. And the default port is 8006. And for that, you could customize that, for instance, to mxbackup.samayas.eu and the port simply 443. And that way, instead of simply having a different URL on where the spam report is coming from, you might create a common mxbackup server. However, for that to work, you need to do a lot more than simply reconfigure it. Reconfiguring it is the first step. Now, if mxbackup.samayas.eu or your domain name does not exist, of course, when the user will click on it, it won't work anymore. And so, at minimum, you need a DNS where mxbackup redirects to everything else. Also, in general, you have configured an HTTPS certificate on mxbackup1, on mxbackup2, and on mxbackup3. And if you would simply have created a CNAME where mxbackup redirects to your mxbackup1, mxbackup2, you still have an SSL certificate issue. And so that means you need to reissue SSL certificates specifically so that you have an alternative name next to mxbackup1 to also point to mxbackup. Otherwise, you'll also hit a wall. And then finally, if we have a quarantine port and we put it on 443, somehow we also need to remap that server to also listen to 443 for quarantine requests. So the option is there, but it's a lot more complex to change that than simply changing this configuration. Unfortunately, tweaking this is just slightly more complex than going through a web UI. The daily spam report can be easily tweaked. However, the other mails, which are more administrative mails, are a little bit more tricky. If you guys enjoy this content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell sign. Or leave a comment down below.